Mike, you're going to Greece. Where are you going? When are you going? How do I go?
We're going in fall break of October of 2025, and we're going to see the places that Paul visited. Early Christianity really does begin in many of these places. So we'll start in Athens. So we're kind of going to go backwards a little bit. We'll start in Athens and we'll go to Mars Hill, and you'll stand on the place where Paul gives the discourse in Acts 17.
Mm-hmm.
Dang,
And
so cool.
It is awesome. And by the way, Athens is mind-blowing. The stuff that you see. And the cool thing about this tour is we'll have a local guide that takes people on tours of Greece, but then you'll have me as like the host or the LDS guide. And so on the bus, we'll kind of trade the microphone back and forth. And so the local guide will talk about the politics or what's going on in Greece or some of the history stuff. And I'll jump in with the Latter-day Saint perspective.
Yeah, the temple theology things that you can see.
Yeah, a little bit of that stuff. But I also add some historical stuff. So you're kind of getting a double dose of it. And then we'll go to Corinth. And we'll spend some time there. And then we'll go to Ephesus. We'll go to the Isle of Patmos. You'll go to the cave where tradition says that John sat in this cave and received revelation. It's a beautiful island.
Tradition says, but what do you say?
I like it. I think that he was in that spot probably. Now I don't know, but that's probably a likely spot where he was. And it's really and the cool thing is you come and the people that come and they'll walk out and say, "Man, I really felt something," and others will say, "Well, I don't know." And I always, as the guide, say, "Hey, it's for you to decide." But there is a really neat spirit on the Isle of Patmos.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. We'll go to Crete. We'll go to a place called Santorini where there's not a lot of church history, but it's the one that you see on the Instagram photos, right? Yeah. Where everyone's eating and they're up on this cliff and they're looking over the ocean and
Doesn't James Bond have like a car chase scene in Santorini or something?
Probably does.
So that's historically cool.
Yes. And it absolutely is. We'll go to this place called the Meteor Monasteries. Now, I love it. It's a place where you're basically up in these cliffs, and they built these monasteries up in there. And I always wonder, how did they do it? And you go up there, and it's like you're in a city in the clouds. And it's so cool. And the photographs are amazing. But I love go and visit these monasteries that the Orthodox Christians built, because there's a lot of Eastern Orthodox religion in Latter-day Saint theology. There's a lot of crossover. So I point out some of that stuff.
Cool.
And we'll end in Thessaloniki, Berea, and Philippi, and then we'll depart. There's an extension to Istanbul if you want to go. Ooh. I'm not going to be going to that because I have to go back and teach my classes. But once again, this is a multi-day trip, a couple weeks in Greece, and it's in fall break. And if you can come out, join us, and it'll be really cool.